What's up guys, and welcome back to another video. Today's video we're talking North versus South match that's taking place in New Zealand next weekend. Originally it was scheduled to take place this week Saturday, but unfortunately due to COVID-19 and level 3 in Auckland, they have rescheduled the match to next week. However, there are doubts that the match will even take place then, due to the fact that the Prime Minister of New Zealand has extended the stay-at-home lockdown in Auckland. It's just looking more and more unlikely, and if she decides to move it to level 2, they're still facing a situation where they might not even have a crowd in the game. Now this is scheduled to approximately deliver about $1 million in obviously earnings to New Zealand Rugby if goes well with the crowd. Now that's a massive loss when it's something like as big as this, because not only is it just North versus South historic matches coming back, it is also a time for the coaching staff and Ian Foster and his management team to pretty much select which All Black squad he's going to select, because I mean the talent that's playing, it's two All Black sides really against each other, and both teams have remarkable players within. I mean, you got Mwanga versus Barrett battle. You've just got it all, really. And we're going to see a textbook quality rugby. Now, the question obviously is, do they go ahead with this game, closed doors, or do they indeed postpone it? Now, obviously, the COVID-19 was awoken in Auckland when a family was diagnosed with COVID-19. And since then, it went from, I think, 7 or so infections to about 100. So unfortunately, COVID-19 has hit New Zealand with a bang. It's still not a lot, and it's definitely recoverable, as we've seen in the past from New Zealand. And the government has been quite swift in getting these rules in place so that it doesn't go out of hand, and rightly so. Because, one event, one game, I mean, imagine a stadium with thousands and thousands of people can just spread that virus just like that, and then New Zealand are in a problem because it will obviously spread. Now, not only are we talking COVID problems, we're talking team problems in this upcoming game, because Auckland's players aren't allowed to leave. There's a few management staff within. There's about 10, 11 players from Auckland that are part of the squad or something like that. So you really want your full squad so that people can get their money's worth, and you also want a crowd. Because let's face it, the crowd brings a lot of excitement, extra oomph to the game, and obviously from a revenue point of view, not only for the stadium, for New Zealand Rugby itself, it just gives them a good sense of weight that's so much needed, especially in a time like this of COVID-19. So there's so many things to consider when planning an event like this, and making the decision from New Zealand Rugby as to whether or not they should go ahead with it or wait, because you want a full squad. Firstly, you also want to get your money's worth for it, and that's bringing in the fans. My opinion is to continue postponing this. Obviously, you need this game to happen because you've got the Mitre 10 Cup, which is going to take place not too long from now. That will probably definitely be behind closed doors for now until New Zealand get cleared from the virus, etc., etc. And also, you've got the Rugby Championship coming up, so how are they going to filter it in? For me, I would definitely postpone it and see what happens, and then make sure that when you play this game, it is done properly with the fans, with the people, because yes, you'll still get money from no crowds in the stadium, but it's not going to generate the ticketing prices, which is obviously what you want right now. You will still get your sponsors, your television rights and all that stuff, but it's not enough, especially when it's going around to what could be $1 billion New Zealand dollars made from this event. So for me, postpone it for now until you can get that full-on game where you got a crowd. I just think, for the sake of the sport, for the sake of New Zealand Rugby, from a financial point of view, from Eden Park's point of view, it just gives them a boost, a financial boost that they need. Obviously, the backup plan is playing at Wellington behind closed doors. There was also talk of Dunedin with the closed roof. So they definitely are fishing out their options of what they're going to do in order to get the game going for the fans. But for me, because it's such a big event like this, and it's a sellout, no doubt, because of the quality level of rugby you're going to get, I would postpone it. And if unfortunately Auckland go to level 2 and the rest of the country go to level 1 where you can have crowds, then go where the crowd is, because it's a money factor. I know Eden Park is definitely lost on the final game, which was a sellout between the Crusaders and the Blues. So for me, I would put a hold on this one until you get the full-on crowds, just from a monetary value. Obviously, it sucks for the fans because the fans want to see the sport, they want to see the games played now, or the people even watching on TV are like, ah, man, we can watch with no crowd, etc., etc. But for me, I think it would just be a good boost for New Zealand Rugby. But hey, they need to make that final decision on whether or not they're going to go forward with it. But I think the safest thing is just to continue postponing it, give it a later date, and let's say end September. And if by then they can't get a final result on when it should be played, or if the COVID numbers don't go down, then play behind closed door. But for me, I would try and see what you can do to bring it to the crowd, because I think that will give a good boost to New Zealand Rugby as a whole. But hey, that's just my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. That's going to do it for today's video. Below. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, smash that thumbs up button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you real soon for another one. Thanks so much for watching. Stay safe and never give up. Cheers.